Hello everyone, welcome to another stream of Plane Shift. Hey. Okay, so today we continue with the mini games, dice mini games. This morning I did some changes to the structure because I wanted to work slightly different, but we will see. We will see how it goes. Hello everyone. Hey. So I arrived to the point. Basically, the thing that I changed a bit the way we send the information from the server to the client. In particular, I want to send all available games of that particular dice board, because I think anyway I will define like one free for all. You know, you can use whatever dice you want, and another one which is more guided and phased, right? I didn't put it yet into the dice rules, but I think we can. Let me try to do it now. So I think the first game will be the no rules game, right? I think that probably the only rule is that you have to match your opponent dice, right? I don't know exactly how to do that, but that's an interesting question. yeah, I would like to have like an any dice, but if you have any dice, right, and you are not dropping the right dice in the pot, then basically the game will stop you, right? And or I do allow a reset, or I check that the dice that you are dropping are the same of the enemy. I have to think about it. I don't know how to do it at the moment. Let me do it this way a second, then we see what to do. So this one will have one phase. There will be the bet phase, right? And it will have where the minimum bet is 10, and then it will just have a roll phase, and pretty much that's it, right? Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. And then and now here, because here I'm actually specifying the type of dice. Yeah, so this doesn't really work unless we introduce something like star, which means like any, right? We can do like star star, and if it's star star, then it's any dice, right? Which is a bit weird, because if you do any dice, also you do star quantity, so you basically go any quantity. They may look a bit weird, actually. I'm thinking what to do. I don't know if I want to have all the games predefined, or because the problem of having the games not predefined so that the players can define, hello Hula, that the players can define the dice, right, is that the game cannot really regulate if the two are compatible, right? So imagine that one player is dropping, I don't know, 3d6, right, and rolls. Then if the other player drops, I don't know, 5d10, you know, obviously is a bit uneven, right? So or we say that the first player defines the, yeah, I think that would probably be the answer, right? My skin, yeah. I don't know if I should, yeah, probably we say that the first player decides the type of dice. The first player that rolls, or the first player that created the game? I think the first player that rolls. The only problem is that if they do it at the same time, there is a bit of a problem of timing, because we actually roll. I mean, you can add the dice. I don't have an easy way to do this. I don't have an easy way, because if I search add the dice, right? Come on, add dice, no? Add mini game dice, no. Add, no, drop dice. Yeah, drop dice in cup, right? So drop dice in cup. Yeah, here is forcing the requirements of the phase, and in particular is forcing so we can say that we look at the other player. Not completely convinced about this. So in reality, any dice is any dice matching your opponent, right? But again, I have the problem that you drop the dice, you drop a d6, right? And your opponent can already drop something else, right? So, and if it doesn't drop anything and you drop another one, then we have the problem that, well, your combination should always match the combination of the opponent. I mean, we can do an algorithm on that, right? We can check if your dice are equal or less than the enemy, and the one that starts first, right, kind of wins. Yeah, I think it may work. Now the algorithm may not be super easy because we have to basically compare. We can ask the artificial intelligence. I think we can do it. I think you can do it. I think you can do it quickly. I'm out of messages until 4 p.m. It is 4 p.m. What do you mean? 4 p.m. US time? GG, bro. So, and I have defined a mini game for dice. Every player can add any dice to their can add any dice to their cup before rolling. What I want is that the second player must match what the first player has dropped into his cup, right? Yeah. So I need an algorithm to check if the current dice are... No. I need an algorithm to check if the dice that I'm dropping Let me just remove the any dice because I think that this will confuse him so much. The player will have a T array of drop dice, right? Okay, I believe. I believe! Wait. No, I didn't understand shit. He didn't understand shit. So the problem is not just to validate if the die is valid in terms of type, because you may already have dropped right, some of that type. And also the position doesn't make any difference. The player can drop dice at any time. So we have to compare the current die dropped with all the ones we already dropped and the ones dropped by the other player. So player 2 cannot exceed player 1 dropped dice in terms of number or type, right? So that's basically the idea. Anyway, even if ChatGPT is giving me wrong answers, you know, he helps me to reason on the problem, right, and to express it better. Player 2 must match the type and quantity of dice dropped by player 1. Exactly. Example, if player 1 is dropped 2d6 and 1d8, player 2 must drop no more than 2d6 and 1d8. Exactly. Now I think he's starting to get it. Each drop must be validated against the total drop so far. Exactly. Exactly. So what you really need is to keep a count of dice dropped by player 1. Well, that's inside the array of dice dropped. Keep a count of dice dropped by player 2 so far. Yes, we have that. Before allowing a new die to be dropped by player 2, check if any die would exceed player 1 count. Exactly. Exactly. Now you got it. Now you got it. So what he's saying? He's saying count player 1 dice type. T-map dice count. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea actually, but at the moment I have it as this. I mean, I can group them by type, which is not a bad idea. At the moment, yeah, the problem is that I have to change it in a million places, I guess, if I... let me think about it. No, apart from this part is fine. Request MGI die to cap. Exactly. So this is all fine. The only problem I have when yeah, I think I can keep them by... dice dropped, by type. I think it's not a bad idea. Is this going to change significantly my code? Nah, not significantly. So basically having a T map of dice type and number, right? So that, yeah, but that is not enough because I still need... so this will be an additional structure. Yeah, this code is all fucked, but the idea is correct. I think the idea to keep a dice by type is not a bad idea, right? I mean, it's the easiest then to do the comparison because you then just compare the... yeah, I think I think it's a good idea. So inside the minigame, so just here, right? So keep track of the dice types dropped and their number, right? So there is basically a temporary structure. There is a temporary structure in the cup, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. So basically, every time we validate that a drop has been made, right? Every time we validate a dice drop, which means here. The problem is how do we decide player 1 or player 2, right? I mean, it's easy at the beginning because the other player has 0 dice, but how do I decide who is player 1 and who is player 2? In this case, the first one that drops the first dice, the first die wins, right? Wins meaning is the master of the sequence, right? So what I'm saying is that in addition to this, the minigame player also needs to become the master, right? Now, one of the problems is that I will move to the next phase when the other player is matching your dice. So if the other player is matching your dice instantly, like you drop only 1 die, then the game will start immediately. If you wait that the other drops stuff, right, then yeah. So this happens. Okay, I think it's a good idea. I think we can do it this way. So basically, define master player. How do we define that? We check that both players. So first of all, we need to have two players. I mean, there is no way. No, well, no, because you can start before the other, right? You can open a game, throw a dice, wait someone else to join, and then you are anyway the master, which I think is okay. So we don't need two players. We don't need two players. We need the other player to have 0 dice dropped, right? Do we have something like get other player, assuming that there are two? No, huh? Because we only have get player, but we don't have get other player. But I think we need that. I think we need that. I think for games that are only between two people, which by the way is the majority. Right. So get other player will get anyone except me. Right? Anyone except me. And if he doesn't find it, he will return null. Now is yeah. So we can say that if the other player returns null, or if the other player returns null, or someone that is not me, then I have to check if is okay. Fine. So we need to get the other player compared to me, and this one will return a mini other player. And we can say if this is null, right? If this is not valid, or if this is not valid, or this is valid but this guy has 0 dice dropped, right? Then I am the master. Right? So there is the condition that basically flags one of the two as the master. And then after we defined who is the master can drop any dice, so there is no restriction. But if you are so let's say that here we have two cases, right? Yes. Yes. So we have the any dice and the non any dice. Right? So how do we say that? How do we check? Yeah. So we said that we need an any dice, right? So we need to load basically in our game board. We need any dice, so we always specify 0. 0 is any dice and 0 is any quantity. Well, any quantity. Can I have them separate? Can I have any type but just a limited amount of dice? Well, in theory I could, yes. Okay. I think we can use 0. Why I want to use 0? Because I think we are reading it as a number. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I think we are reading game rules. We are reading game rules in XML, whatever. And oh, this thing is annoying. Rules. Dice rules, yeah, exactly. Dice rules, right? So we are searching for what? We are searching for this. And here is the thing. No, I think we can use then any. Let's use any. Let's use any. Do you say any dice or any die? Probably any die. Any dice. Is any dice correct? Or is any die? Any die. Sounds a bit like dying, but fine. No? You can die any way you want. Okay, so if we specify any, if we specify any is any volume, any die, and then the amount is a quantity that I would say if is 0 is any right? Okay. Okay, so we just have to check the die type in this phase, right? Now the quantity, we can use any dice. Now the quantity can also be any amount or a number. So probably we need to split this actually. We need to split the type of dice from the quantity. Yeah, I think so. I think these are two separate things. We can use any dice type or any die type. We can use die type specified in the rules. And then I have to do the same pretty much here for quantity. So if dice amount is equal to 0, we can, we can do what we want. Otherwise, okay, I think like this is cleaner. Like this is cleaner, guys. And way more flexible, right? And way more flexible. Okay, so going back to our case of the master. Going back to our case of the master, what are we saying? We can if we can use any die, then the master rule kicks in, right? The master rule kicks in. And so if I'm the master, no rule. So so if the current mini player is not the master of dice, you need to comply, right? You need to comply with the other guy, right? And so here is where we need a function that is actually checking is my die drop valid? Well, that is not really the best name because the validity, I mean, is the validity only in the case we are in a master type and where I have any die rule, right? So the real name would be, is my die dropped within master range, right? So that would be like the name, but the name of a function is a bit too long. Is my die dropped let's say compliant, okay? Compliant with the rules. Compliant with the rules, okay, it's fine. This happens only for, and so what we have to do, we have to, we need to add for sure the die to drop, but we also need to specify the two players, right? Myself, and the mini other player. So I think if we create a function like this, then and this will return a boolean, right? This will return a boolean. So if this will say yes, then no problem. If we will say no, then we will not allow to drop that die, and we will send a message, right? And the message that we will send is your die is not compliant with the other player dice. I hope it's understandable, right? But I think it's understandable. You would just see that it's a different type, and so I think it is understandable. And this will basically block you from dropping a die, right? Okay, I think that is very nice, because this means that basically players can play any game they want with one master player defining how to play, right? Which is actually pretty good, I think. Okay, now the problem is that we need this, right? We need this function. We need this function, and this function should be on the minigame session, yes. Why you want to create it global? Global sounds a very bad idea. I want it inside the minigame session, actually. I mean, true, it is kind of static, right? But why is not defining it? Exactly. So we basically need this, right? We need this. Now, I don't know if the AI can help us on that. Maybe it is already. Count player one dice by type. Well, we said that this is already. Okay, so I have to do that, right? So I have to populate. I have to. So if everything goes well. Because it is, yeah, so we do it only once, we don't have to redo it all the time, right? And this is what? This is inside minigame player, no? We said that we have a player dice count. So we have a player. So we have a player's, yeah, for the current mini player, obviously. For the current mini player, we will add the die to drop type and the die to drop what? No, I need to add the number. So I need to find, yeah, because this structure is an int. Int is the quantity, right? Is the quantity. So I need first to find and then to, right? There was the weird function find or add, but I think it really doesn't exist, right? This function find or add is not existent. I think he invented it. Oh, really? It exists? Wow. Insane. I never seen it, but it's very nice if it exists. It does actually. Find or add. Find a value associated with a specified key, and if none exist, add a value using default constructor. Yes, but if you already exist, are you really adding one to the value or not? Because this one suggests that this plus plus, right, suggests that it's able to increment the value inside, but that's very weird. Do you think this plus plus will work? Because it returns a pointer to the value. Okay. I mean, I believe. I don't know, it looks weird. I never did something like that, but I believe. If it thinks it is possible, we can do it. If it's a reference, right? If a reference to an integer and is actually able to do an operator on it, that's super compact. I love it. Just want to be sure that it really works, but we will test it, okay? So with one line, basically we are searching for the map. If not found, add a new one with 0. And then increment by 1. If it's found, return the value and increment by 1. Wow. Mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Okay. So assuming that this is properly populated, right? Assuming that this is properly populated. Then I want yeah, assuming that that's properly populated. Now I want to No, I don't understand. I mean, I just need to, I mean, it's very easy, right? I just need to find if my die to, so I need to search in the other player. Right? I need to search in the other player. So in the other player, yes. So I need to find the dice type of, I mean the number of, right? The number of. And I don't know what the find returns, but I assume that if it doesn't find it, it returns 0. Ah, is a pointer to. So it's a pointer to an int. But if I do find ref, then what is doing? Can I specify the default value? Fantastic. Okay. Okay, so if it doesn't find it, it will return 0, right? Which is very nice. So basically this finds how many dice of this type the other player has, right? So that is what it's doing. And then we just need to check that my... Yeah, I need to find how many I dropped, right? Right, so... Right? And then I just have to check that my number is not exceeding, I mean, plus the one that I'm dropping, I'm not exceeding the other guy number, right? So I have to say if num dice plus 1 is greater than num dice other player, right? Then we return false, otherwise we return true. I mean, it's just this, right? Unless I'm missing something, I think that this should be the... this should be the thing, no? Exactly. Okay, this is very good. I don't know if it works, but we will see. We will see. We will test it, right? But now what we are saying is that if my drop is not compliant, then we return an error. Otherwise, we move on and we check the quantity. Okay. So for the quantity, I mean, consider here we are already checking the quantity, right? But for the I think that we need to restrict the quantity only on the master, right? Because anyway, the other player will be compliant through this, right? So we just have to restrict it on the master, I would say. I mean, or we can restrict it on both, but anyway, it's the same, right? So if we can use any dice quantity, we do nothing, basically. Yeah, exactly. I think we should do nothing, right? So in theory, it's like this, right? So if the dice amount is different than 0, then we do something. Then we do the check, right? But if it's not specified, if the quantity is not specified, I just move on, right? Just move on. Yes. Okay. So this in theory should allow. Should already kind of work. I mean, the server side logic, right? Not the client logic. The client logic we still need to fix. Pam 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 param. Pam 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 param. Okay, we're missing a semicolon there. Aggiornamento software. There is a software update I need to do on my phone. Okay, iOS 18.4.1. Okay, let's do it. We are building, my boys. But this definition is very nice because we can change the game types. We can also allow multiple game types. Now the selection of the game type we still have to do, but I think I like the structure, right? I like how the structure is. Okay, E completed. So now the next step would be to have a way to choose the actual minigame, right? I did some work this morning on this. You need 2 players to choose a game. You need 2 players to choose a game. I don't know if this is really true, but consider we have the NPC as well. Well, the NPC, we will have to review the NPC because at the moment I think it's broken because I did so many changes. I think this at the moment is looking at the 2 players and 2 human players. I don't know if this is really true though. You can choose the game and you can invite another person, as long as, because yeah, the first phase may start, right? The first phase may start, which is the betting. And the other player is not there. And then it joins after you did the first bet. That's very confusing, right? So yeah, probably is correct. So we want to avoid. So the reason we do this. We want to avoid betting before another player joins, right? I think. I need the end game phase though, otherwise this will not pay the players, right? So I need that as well. Think so. What is this music? Stardew Valley. Didn't play it much, but I've seen it. I've seen it a bit. It looked like a cute game. Okay, so now yeah, okay. Let's go editor. Because I think now we have all the pieces server side. And we need the ability to actually select a game. Okay. I mean, for sure he's complaining a bit because we changed so much stuff, right? So we have a function that is called receive mg initial dice setup. This one is also carrying the what is going on here? Huh? What? Dice setup. Because I changed the name. I changed the name of this thing. Uh-oh. Why we cannot find it? Oh. Okay, so now... available skins. Yeah, I changed the way this works, right? So at the moment we have two initializations. We have the first initialization where we get the available skin of the player, we get the game ID, we get the player position and the player money. And then we have the second initialization which decides the rules based on the game type, right? And so available die type is actually decided there, and game rule is actually decided there, and is actually an array of, right? It's not just a single one. So yeah, I think I have to do things a bit differently. Because I have a receive choose game, right? And receive choose game is the one, yeah, exactly. But here I should get, wait a second, no, this is broken. It is broken. I need in receive choose, in receive initial setup, I need the game types. Yeah, this needs to be available, huh? Maybe read only, but needs to be available. No, I don't know if I really need all the phases, right? But because the phases are sent to me separately. So actually the phases I don't really need. In fact, they are not sent as U property. Okay, fantastic. But I have the rules and I have the dice type. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let me save a sec, because this is not correct anymore. PS dice something. No. PS PSM dice setup message. Okay. 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 So now this is correct. But we need to recompile because we changed the availability of this structure to the blueprints. So at the end, guys, what I'm doing is basically to create a more flexible system to manage our dice mini games, so that we can change the rules, we can have multiple different game types, and also the game is managing the betting, because if you have any kind of betting, you cannot leave it to the players, right? Otherwise the players will cheat, and a lot of anger will come out of their yeah, of their cheating. So what? Game type reference to dice game, but the code generation hash is 0. Why? Meaning that is not defined before. Yeah, I think that what he's saying is that this needs to be defined before this, otherwise you cannot do it, I think. And dice type needs to be defined before everything, otherwise let's try like that. I hope there is no circular dependency between these things, but should not. Oh, this one do not have a title. Interesting. This let me add a title to all of them. Just adding Factorio. There is Factorio mini game. I'm just adding the album to all, so it will show up. Hopefully. Wow, there are many. I think it's kind of fun because sometimes people join the stream and they hear the music and they say, ah, isn't this this game music, right? Yes, it is. Okay, I think I added to all the songs. Yeah. Now all of them have the thingy, the proper title. There is no artist, but I can find it. I can find whoever wrote these songs. It'd be nice to put it in, actually. Okay. Let's recompile this and see if we get any errors. No, good. So now inside this dice message, right, we should have all the mini games. Exactly. These are the game types, right? So I don't know if I'm using player position. I think I was not using player position. The available die types and the available skin types. So that is defined. So I think I need to set up the... Setting up the skin is good. Setting up the game ID is good. But then I also have to set up all the game types. So all these game types needs to go... I don't know if I want to put it in a variable or they just go to the combo box, right? Because at the end, this is just the name pretty much, right? I don't know if I need to store it. Probably not, actually. Probably not. And all of this needs to be done in another place now. And all of this so this piece, right, this piece will be done elsewhere. Still have to decide where, but definitely not here. And okay, while this piece needs to be done here. Okay, so this is the player money. Reset the button for safety. This we can do a bit later. And here I want to do a for loop. And when I finish my for loop, I want, when I'm completed, I want to go there, right? And my for loop, what it needs to do, it needs to populate pretty much this combo box that we created. So we will have to add a new, no, we'll have to add, bro, add to this thing. Huh? It's not add? Why? What do you mean? You crazy? Add option. Okay. Yeah, why when I was saying add, it was not showing up? Well, maybe it was just in this list. Yeah, it is. Okay, add option. And the option that we are adding is the name of the game. The name of the game. Ah, yes, and then we need to save this, because otherwise we will not have it when we then select the game, going to show the rules and we are able to choose it. Yep. Yeah, we have to save that. Then we have to save it. Yes, we have to save it. So let's save it into game types. Or to available game types, which is even better. And uh-oh, here I did a mistake. Come on, select that. Okay. So we receive the player money, and here we set up the game types. Okay. So here we add all the options, yes, and then we do that. Okay, so I think here we are pretty much in good shape. No. Okay, fine. And yeah, so this is setting up play money, setting up the game types, re-enabling the stuff when it needs to be re-enabled. And we're also saving this. Now, when we click on the combo box and we select, and we click on select, no, also when we change the combo box, so we need a on selection change. Yeah, exactly. I'm copying from the other one that we did already just to see if I'm doing the right thing. But yeah, so on selection changed, right? What we want to do, the selected item will be the name, right? And so we need to switch, right? We need to find in our available game types, right? We need to find the rule that corresponds to that game. We need to find the game that corresponds to that, and right. And now, right, when we find it, then we just when we find it, we just populate our rules, right? With the text of the rules. Okay. That is nice. Now, the type of die that we can use at the moment is not really relevant. I don't know, maybe I will do it later, but for now it's fine. So then will be a moment in which there will be a moment where we actually choose the game, right? And where we choose the game is when we press this choose button. This choose button. This choose button is going to choose. I mean, if the game is the same as the one that we already selected, I think it's going to do nothing, right? So we don't want to choose again the game that we already selected, right? So the problem is at the beginning, no game is selected. Right. No game is selected at the beginning. Before I forget, wait a second. I need to reset. Yeah, before I forget, wait, because before I forget, in mini player, right? In mini player. In mini player. Now we also have these two things, right? And these two things absolutely need to be reset when we reset the game. Right? It's not called reset. Fuck. It's called restart or something. Let me check. When you press this, right? You press this. we call, yeah, mg dice reset. Mg dice reset. Mg dice reset. Come on. Mg dice reset. Okay. Okay. No, why is not resetting any variables here? Huh? I'm confused now. Ah, reset player. Yeah. Reset player. Which, by the way, why this reset player is outside of the if player valid? I mean, if the player is not valid, I mean, at least P needs to be valid, right? Otherwise, I mean, I can do this. Or we can check if P is not valid inside the reset player. Fine. So here we have to reset a number of things, right? Including the new stuff that we like this, which is our T map, right? We need to clean it. So we need a what? Empty. And we also need to clear the master flag, right? Because we don't want that to stay. And I don't know if there is anything else, but I don't think so. It's fine. There's two things, yes. Before I forget, because those two things are obviously generating a bit of a problem if they are not reset. Now, what we are saying is that when I choose a new game, right, I need to be sure that I need to be sure that I'm not selecting the same game already I have running. So in that case, I don't want to do any change. But as I was saying, we don't have a way to do that now, but we can add it. So we will add a new field that is called selected game that starts empty and then we need to check if the selected game is equal to the one that we have in the branch. So if it's already the case, right? If it's already the case, then then we do nothing. We already have the proper game selected, right? So we have to do nothing. If maybe we can just close the panel though, right? When you click on choose, I think we should actually close this panel. Close this game panel completely, which by the way, this game panel should start the visibility collapsed, and then it will become visible. Set visibility collapsed. No, collapsed. Yes. And then if not, right, if not, then we need to create a new function to select the game. That will be corresponding to this one, right? Request mg dice blah blah blah. And this one needs to have the game ID and the game name. Okay. Okay. And this one is run on server reliable. Yes. And it's calling this. So, please. Request change of game type. Okay. Now the result of that is a receive, which is basically saying that you changed the game, right? And I think this one can just send a message, can just give you a message. Yes. Exactly. And this one is replicated on client. And yeah, when this happens, then I don't know if we really need to, I mean, I think the message we sent it already, no? The fact that you changed the game, we sent it already. Or not? No, we don't. Well, we can send this message and then we can print it out on the client. So here we have a message thingy, which is this: receive mg dice message, right? Receive mg dice message on client. So I think we can call this. No. Receive message. Receive mg. Exactly. So Okay. So this will notify the client of the fact that we have changed the game to a new game type. This is actually happening for all the players connected, so that would be good. I guess I just need to connect it. Why? Oh my god. Sometimes it fucks up. Like now. Okay. And I think we only display the message and we set in our window dice game the fact that now the selected game is a new game, right? I think we selected game, we set it as this. Now, can only the master player change the game type? I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have the master player here on the client, right? I have it on the server. Yeah, but the master is only... No, I think any player can change it. Now, we will need to have some rules. Huh? We need to have some rules for swapping game type during mid game, right? So that is something that we will have to define. But anyway, at least here we have a way to change the game type, and when the game type changes, we basically move to the next phase. So we start the next phase of the game, right? And so I have to be sure that when I do this, which is the receive of the player start, right? When I receive this, when I receive this, what happens? Here is the start of the phase. Here is the start of the phase. Here is the start of the phase. Yeah, also when I reset the game, I want to hide this initial bet phase, right? This box. I want to hide that box. I don't understand exactly what was this, because it's not connected, so I don't know what is that. Anyway, we clear all the stuff. We will test this stuff soon, guys. Don't lose your faith. You will see something running soon. But I'm doing so many changes and updates that yeah. Hello, Carm. Hey, your engine looks funky with those colors. What do you mean? These are the standard colors, I think. You mean this one? I think these are the standard colors. So that's not the engine. There is Unreal Engine. This is the Unreal. This is the Unreal editor, right? The stream overlay. Yeah. Yeah, there are people running around the screen all the time. Look at that. And there's also you running around now. On your phone, yeah. We are making a game. Actually, we have a game made already. We are just improving it. At the moment, we are making a mini game inside our game, and there is a game of dice where you can throw dice and bet coins with another player or with an NPC. So this is what we are doing. Okay. I think I can probably run it and see where we are, because I did so many changes that I'm a bit lost now in what will work and what will not work. One thing that I would like to, that I'm thinking, if I should hide the betting, if I should hide the bet button when you are not in a betting phase, right? If that will make it more clear. Like I can put these 4 things into a panel and just hide the panel as needed. Because obviously the current bet needs to stay, right? Because we will have two main phases. And whenever we receive, yeah, I think we should do that, wait. Whenever we receive the phase, right? Start a new game phase. Is phase game, set visibility. We put the name, right? So that is very simple at the moment. But this should change based on if this phase is a betting phase or if it's a rolling phase. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. So we should check if it's a betting phase or if it's a rolling phase. And I think also these other options will need to be checked. And also the minimum bet needs to be checked, right? Because if you're not respecting the minimum bet, then even if this is checked server side, right? Okay, let me try. So what we do this, right? So this will be betting phase. Betting phase, yeah, but I think I need to change then the, because I don't want to hide, 4 different things. I just want a panel that I can hide fully. So these 4 elements here, right? These 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think they should go into a panel of some kind. At the moment we are inside an horizontal box. No, at the moment we are inside a vertical box. But I think we need 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. I think I can do another vertical box inside this vertical box. Let me see if it works, but Should work in theory. Okay, seems it didn't really change much. The only difference is okay. It's making it slightly larger. I don't know why, but I think it's kind of fine. Vertical box, horizontal box. Here there are two sides boxes with override, and this guy should be in the middle actually. Yeah, this one can take the wall thing. Yeah. Okay, I think we are good. So now we have a panel, right? Now we have a panel that is basically holding all this. So I can hide it. When I hide it, I can do hidden maybe. Because if I do collapsed, it will actually move, as you can see. With the other elements will move, which is not really the best. But so this will be our vertical box. Betting, right? And it will be a variable so that we can turn it on and off as we wish. So if we are in the betting phase, then this betting box becomes visible. And if we are not in the betting phase, this guy becomes hidden. Hidden basically takes the space but doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Okay, nice. How long have you been working on this? I've been working on this pretty much my whole life, but let's say that the 3D version of Plane Shift we basically started in 2018. So it's now, what, 7 years ago? Yeah, 2018. Where we started with Unreal Engine and we... I don't know the news on the main website, how much you can go back, but if you go to our website and check news, you can go back to 2013, and then before that, actually you cannot. But pretty much here at the end of 2018 and the beginning of 19, we restarted really with the Unreal Engine version. Yeah, probably 2019. Yeah, the first alpha release of Unreal Engine was in 2020, May. But this took quite some work, so it was at least 1 year, right? At least 1 year before that. But the project existed before Unreal, right? We were one of the first MMO in existence, actually. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. So I don't know if we have to do anything else more than this, right? So we just show, if it's a betting phase, we show the betting. If not, we hide the betting. And then I think we want, if it's a rolling phase, I think we want to enable the dice or not. I don't even know. Let me run it, because at this point I'm losing track of where I am, because we did so many changes that now I'm completely confused of where we are. So let me recompile, because we did a small change about cleaning some variables. And then we test it, okay? So the first thing that we want to understand is if we can properly switch the game type. And if the game type... So when we switch the game type, what happens? But anyway, this is a hobby. It is a hobby project, right? It's not a commercial project. I mean, I do it just for fun and for research. But at the same time, you know, I want to be able to have a game that actually runs and is enjoyable. So it's a bit more than a hobby. Let's say it's a kind of a hard hobby. I don't know. You know, like when people say, "Oh, I have as a hobby to run in a marathon," right? So that's a bit more than a hobby. Because, you know, the amount of effort required to train for a marathon, right, is... Yeah, this game for me is pretty much that. So the amount of effort that I put into it is quite high. So how do we actually recognize the mini game? Game board, get game by name, one game, broadcast, yeah, but basically we are not switching games here, guys. On the server side, we are not switching game. We are not switching game. We are not switching game. Yeah, we have to do a bit. We have to do a few more things actually, because if name is empty, this means that game must be valid, right? So it means that the game that they sent us and try to choose is not valid. So in that case, we will have to send them a message saying that the game selected is not valid. Game, we can also say which one, right? We can also say which game is not valid. Well, it's basically the name that they sent us, but the player may not know. So, okay, so we would, in this case, we just return. If is valid, I think we need to swap, right? We need to swap the selected game, which at the moment, I don't think we even have, right? In the game session, I don't think we have the card, because before it was mono game, right? And now is multi-game. The game session name is this, or I have no idea where this is used actually. Is this used? Well, someone must be loading this. Is when you create the minigame session. No, but I don't think it's that. That's the name of the... Yeah, depends on the... Yeah, it has nothing to do. It corresponds to the item name or to the action location name, so it's really nothing to do. So the game session name corresponds to the action location or item name used to start the minigame, right? So this has nothing to do. So we have to change, we need a new variable, which is the current dice game. Current dice game, this one, yes, exactly. Yes, this one, yes, we have it. Current dice game, exactly. So we need to set this. Okay, cool. So when we receive the switch, which is here and then here and then here, so we switch this session to the new game, right? And so why this is not recognized? Yes. The current dice game will be equal to I don't know if I want to put the name or we have, because in theory there we have the index. Fine. I need to do the same. I need something similar but by index. So I need something that returns the current index, right? And so here I need a normal I need a normal 4 because I need the index actually. Right. Wait, now is a bit of a mess, but now it's a bit of a mess, but it will improve, don't worry. Yeah, if he's not found, they will return like -1, but hopefully that never happens, but unless someone is trying to hack the client somehow. Is on game board. Yeah. Okay, so this will basically return the current index. Now, I don't know if you want to check, but if this is valid, this is never, right? If this works, this will always work. So we will always have the current dice game to be a proper value. And so if we have it as a proper value, now whenever we do these kind of things, like searching the next phase, the current phase, right? All of that we now work with a new number, which is what we want, right? So yeah, so I think that's good. That is the piece that we were missing, actually. We were missing that. see. Okay. Okay, let's run it. I have no idea what will happen, guys. It's like 2 days we are not running the client in the server, and we did like hundreds of dozens of changes for sure, but probably it's more in the hundreds. But we did so many changes and we didn't relaunch anything yet, so let's see what happens. Probably will crash, but at least we see where we are, right? We want to see where we are. Let me just eat something quickly. Like, for example, half of a banana. Half of a banana is doable. Look at it. Wait a second, huh? I'm coming in a second. But here I realized that there is stuff that I need to remove. There is stuff I really need to remove. Otherwise, yeah, just a second. Just a second, huh? Meanwhile, we can connect. Oh, player one. Yeah, we will need 2 clients, I guess. Well, before the 2 clients, we will test it with 1, but let's see. It may crash with 1 already. Wait, I'm nearly there. Just that I realized that it was a bit of a mess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I realized there was a bit of a mess in the kitchen. I had to clean, and so I did it. Okay, here we are. Now, we don't care about this guy at the moment, the NPC that we are using to actually play this game, right? So we want to play the game on a custom board. And let's see what happens when I click on OK. When I click on play game, everything seems to be okay. I can select the dice type. I can select... this is not working. This is not working. Which is a problem though, because if that doesn't work, I cannot select the game, because the game selection is inside of this, right? Can I drop a dice? Yes, I can drop a dice. I can drop a dice and I can bet, I guess. This is going on the wrong side. Interesting. And can I reset the game? Yes, I can reset the game. But and I can also throw the dice. But yeah, it's fairly broken, I would say. Yeah, okay. At the moment, we are basically playing without a game run, without a game selected, right? So the only thing that I was able to do, I was able to actually put dice, roll, see the result, and nothing else, right? Now, the first thing we need to fix is the fact that I cannot choose a game. I think it's just because the rules panel is hidden, right? I assume. Wow, it's already 20 minutes to 7. Holy moly, time flies, huh? Yeah, so when I press this, right, in theory, I should be able to show... Yeah, I have a flip-flop, exactly. I have a flip-flop of... okay. Yep, that's not correct. Because before we were showing only this, now we are showing... So, and actually I think that this guy now can be normally visible. And yeah, everything should be visible. Everything should be visible. The only thing that should not be visible is the panel. This panel, right? Yes, this panel will be collapsed. And we want to set the visibility of this panel to visible or collapsed. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Possible that it will ask me to have 2 players, right, to actually do the selection, which is okay. Just adapting some of the selections here to be... I don't think we even need the NPCs for this, but we need the items actually, because if I drop an item to the ground, I would like to have it. Okay. The first time you drop an item, for whatever reason, it takes a lot of time. I don't know why. Okay, now... Ah! That is strange. I don't have... I don't have a selection here. Why? I don't have a selection, no voice. Also, this one is better if it's empty. So it seems that this guy is not populated, which means that we are not executing this, or we are receiving 0 game types, or we are not calling this maybe. No, it seems that we are. Seems that we are. Right. Strange, no? So it seems that we have 0 mini games. Very strange. Let me just check why. Let's try to print out how many game types we received on the client. Probably the number is 0, I assume. Okay? This will be 0. Now, why it is 0? Or we couldn't properly parse the minigame definition. I don't know if we got any error about minigame. Started minigame manager. We are not printing out how many we are loading. Ah, here it is. XML error in games rule definition for Dice Cup. Yeah, so there is something that it doesn't like. So our XML here is not properly formatted, or there is something wrong, right? So we have to see why. Dice game, dice game, dice game, dice game, phase, 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 game name, phase, I don't know. Can we check if this is properly formatted somewhere? No errors were found. Okay, GG. So it seems to be a valid XML, but for whatever reason, it's giving an error. It's not even telling us what the error is, which is kind of strange. Error in games rule definition of Dice Cup, but yeah, definitely definitely that's where we added all our text, so it's very likely, right, that there is an error, that you cannot interpret it. Game rules, search all games available. Okay, I think we have to debug it here and see what happens, right? I don't know if it's even before that it gives the error, but let's launch it in debug mode and see why I cannot read our rules. For some reason it cannot parse the XML. I don't know. While it's running, let me check. Phase, first phase, dice roll, minimum bet, phase. Seems to be okay actually, right? No. Maybe there is something I don't see. Game rules, dice game. Yeah, so it's not receiving the game types on the client. I think if there are zero choices, yeah, there will not be zero choices. Because I am setting up these items myself, right? So I will have always at least one choice. Always at least one game type. It didn't even arrive there. Oh wow. Error in random event script 3, KA gamble does not exist. What? Now it's failing in another place? What do you mean? Huh? Because I changed the loading sequence? That is so strange. Check if KA exists. Because if I'm not loading the NPC, if I'm not loading the NPC, I'm not loading the knowledge areas, I guess. If I'm not loading the NPC... No, but sorry, if I don't load the NPC, I also don't want the random event to happen, no? Wait, it is a collateral thing that has nothing to do with what we are doing, but GM event, okay, I can put GM event to false. It's a bit of a pity though, but because they are not decoupled, right? They are not decoupled, because the key, I think I would like to still load the knowledge areas if, but if there are no NPC, you cannot do it. I can only create the generic ones. Okay, anyway, there is a case that happens only on my machine when I'm doing this test, so I will just disable also the GM events. I think I can probably specialize it and split the knowledge area to Or I can... maybe I can load only the knowledge areas that are generic and not NPC specific. I don't know, it's too complex to think about it now. Anyway, now we should start. And it should arrive to the problem where we cannot parse our game rules. And we will see why. Nope. It exited already. What the hell? Again. Error in random event script, K gamble does not exist. What? Huh? So even if I have the random event disables, you're still trying to load them anyway? What? I have it to false. Why is trying to load a random event NPC if I have GM events disabled? Huh? Let me debug it until here and then we will see where this is coming from, but definitely it should not do that. This one...
Wait. Follow me.
Follow me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
NPC spawn, NPC operation, right? Yeah, all of this in theory should not be loaded.
Goodbye.
Random event load. Okay, let me see where it's coming from, because here there is definitely something strange, right? Preload random events, right? So this thing preload all requiring world. Yeah, but bro, this thing we said that if GM random events are false, should not be loaded. GM random events. If GM random events include GMs. Include GMs. Huh? Ah, no, there is a completely different one. Oh my god. Okay. Now this flag is something completely different. This flag is saying that we are so this flag is saying, do we want random events, right? Random events to trigger also on GM nearby, right? And this in theory should be all, yeah, exactly. So I don't have a way to stop the loading of the random events. Interesting. I think I need it. Yeah, we don't. This is a completely different flag, which is. I think we need a new flag. That is load random events. We need a new property, guys, because yeah. This has nothing to do with what we are doing, but still. So basically, I don't understand the preload, but it's fine. I need to get it from game mode. Game mode. Wait. PS game mode, right? Nope. PS game mode, it doesn't like it. Doesn't like it because of this. Okay, so like this, it will basically skip everything. Now I don't want to do a return false though, I want to do a return true in the sense that the let me do this, which I guess is cleaner. Yeah, let me do this. So at least we know that we skipped it. By the way, we should do this. We should do this for everything, right? But I don't think that we do today. So I think that when we skip, we just skip. We don't notify that we skip. Which is a pity though. I think we should print out that we skipped, right? Yeah. I think we really should. Yeah. Should be pretty much like this everywhere. Yeah. Anyway. It's already a bit better, but also here. Yeah, I think like this I like it. Okay, so now is really skipping. If we have this thing off, right? Well, this thing off, yes. These are more options than anything else. I think this file is organized a bit weird, but fine. Okay. Meanwhile, hello everyone. You are very quiet today. If it is, you want to share with me what you're doing with Unreal or why you are interested in video game development, please do. I'm here also to interact with you guys. I know that our stream is a kind of a niche stream, but still. Okay, let's run it this way. And now we should reach the XML error in loading the game rules, right? So we are back to our original problem. Are Cyberpunk Zombie a bot? I don't know, you can ask him. I didn't see much, but could be. Cyberpunk Zombie, are you a bot or a real person? And still I don't understand exactly what you do with the dice game. We added phases, so basically now we are able to do this, right? You will see it as soon as it runs, right? But we are basically now managing game phases from the server. So the server knows through a configuration file that there is a mini game of this type and is made of these different rounds, and is basically enforcing these rounds on the server and on the client. So it's way smarter than before, let's say, right? I didn't give that error. No. Seriously? Didn't give that error. I think I also need a new flag for generated dungeons because do I have one? No. Let's add one. Let's add one flag also for generated dungeon. So that we can disable it, because when we do these tests, right, it's very annoying that the engine is loading a bunch of other stuff that has nothing to do with what we are doing. So if we can make it simpler. Wow, the music. What is this, Elden Ring? Or yeah, it's Elden Ring. Couldn't be anything else. Load generated dungeon. So where are we generating all this shit? Wait. Generate dungeon. Generate dungeon. Load all dungeons. Okay. Load all dungeons. Yeah, is it? Okay, we can do the same. so that we load this only if this is generated, right? It would be nice to have the else if like we did before. The else if. This. Exactly. We are improving our game like a lot. Look at this. Okay, so now we know everything that we are skipping, right? That is properly okay, but apart from that, so that now that will work as well. Why we are getting the other error? I mean, why we are not catching the XML error? Ah, a million things to spawn here. Holy shit. Yeah, it is hard to debug, right? When you have this 5 million lines. That's impossible. Bro, are we going is this production or is no, it's dummy. Why in dummy we have like 1 million items really? Here it is. Error XML in error definition dice cup. Hey, the problem is that we didn't reach that breakpoint. We didn't reach this breakpoint because we jumped directly here. So we are not even going through this. I don't know. Okay, let's try to put it here and see what happens. But there is definitely something fishy here. I think probably the root. Yeah, I think it's probably the definite. We are missing a. Let me look at it again. I think we are missing a closing, or there is a strange symbol in the description. There is something here that he cannot resolve, right? Like this open tag is not closed, or this dice game that is on multiple lines is confusing him. Like that this description is so long that is confusing him. That could be. So basically, Hula now the dice game is way smarter because I mean our code because is able to define through a configuration file the phases of the mini game, including the initial bidding, the rolling, the main bidding, and the end game. And also in the end game is able to understand the pair, the 3 of a kind, the 4 of a kind, the 5 of a kind, the straight, right, the full house. So it's capable of doing all of that. Okay, let me see what happens here, because for whatever reason here we are failing, right? So probably here this is empty. No, it is not empty actually. It is not empty. Okay. This is also not empty. Ah, wait, but here we may be in a different... yes, this is a different one, so we don't need this. We need a dice cup. Yeah, this one, dice cup. Okay. Starts with games rules. I see. There is just an extra, you see, an extra line at the beginning, and that extra line is fucking up the thing. Incredible but real. Okay, well, fine. So now we will not crash anymore. So I couldn't read the game rules, right? Because now if there is an error in the game rules, I think we should probably quit, no? We are actually returning false. Bah, anyway. Okay, let me try to run it normally now. Maybe now it will work okay. When you say way smarter, you mean as a player I have now more chances to win? No, it's not. I mean, it's not about winning or losing. It's the way our mini game is built. So before you could just drop dice, right, and roll, and that's it, right? You couldn't do anything else. Now we do way more. Now we have phases, bet phase, rolling phase, results, calculation of the results. I mean, we have so much more stuff, my boys. I don't know why here it looks pretty weird, but anyway. It's not automatically selecting the first one, but anyway. I think it looks a bit weird like that, right? So you have... But anyway, let's say that we select poker dice. Uh-oh. Okay, he added the rules here, but obviously the rules for whatever reason are not properly sized. That is very strange. So that the window is not sized properly, so we cannot actually select it. No. Why? I don't know. Let me check in the editor, but I think this window... I mean, we can select any dice and see what happens, right? Let's select any dice meanwhile. So if I select any dice... by the way, when I choose, the window doesn't open, so it's a bit weird. So I don't know if I actually selected or I didn't select anything. Nah, it's not. At the moment it's not really working. This choose button is not connected, I think. Okay, so we have to fix two things. I think that we can select the first option available, something like that. So at least you see it, right? Because not seeing anything and just having to click is kind of weird. Or I can have an option that is like select one game, right? Select a game. Yeah, can we have a default empty option or no? That would be nice. If the combo could have a default empty option. Default option. The default list of items to be displayed in the combo box. The item in the combo box to select by default. None of the two. I mean... Maybe what I can do, I can add, whenever I receive this list, I can add one top element to this list, which is yeah, let me do that. I think we can add a fake item that is actually called select a game type, right? So here we will do, so the first thing that we do, we actually clear the existing game types. Clear options. Is clear option like empty or what? I assume. So the first thing we clear option, then we will add one which is a fake option, right? Which is select, one game type, right? And this select one game type, we will check it, right? We will check it and we will not allow to go further, right? If okay, and then we add the other options, and this will be the selected one. So select option, set selected index 0, right? So we select, yeah, exactly, we set the first index to be the selected one. So you will see this, and you will see the arrow drop down, and then you will select one of the two. Now when you select, this is what is weird, right? When we select, it seems that nothing happens. In theory, when we select, we do this, we do hello game types, break, blah blah blah. Yeah, the txt rules actually works, but is not sized properly, right? So this rules is not sized properly for whatever reason. So if I do this, yeah, you see, it's kind of shitty. Why? Ah, because it needs to be like that. Okay, nice. So now I think we'll be okay. Maybe the size of the text is a bit too much. Maybe we can go 20, or let's go 20. Okay, so now in theory it will show properly. Now when I click on choose, I don't know if I actually did anything. Yes, I did. So okay, so here we will have to exclude the first item, right? So if the item is select one game, then we will do nothing. If selected game is equal to this, game already selected, we collapse. Ah, we didn't do this. We didn't do this. Yeah, we didn't do anything here. So yeah, choosing the game doesn't do anything at the moment. Okay, so when we choose the game, I think I was here, but then I lost my choose exactly. We need to call this one. We need to call this one. So we need to call we need to call that. Okay. We need to call that with this. Now, the only point is that we do not allow you to choose the empty option, right? Yeah, so we can say that if the selected game is index 0, or if the selected index is 0, selected index. So if the selected index is 0, we do not allow to move forward, right? So that's just it is like the bogus empty thingy. Okay, so this is the fake option. Skip, right? So here we don't do anything. If it's false, we go here. Okay. And if the game is already selected, we do nothing. And if the game is different, then we set the game selected to wait. I think we can do we want to set the game selected now, or do we want to set it when we receive the response? I think when we receive the response. Yeah, in fact we do it already. Okay, fine. So the only thing is to call this with the selected option. Okay. And then we hide the panel. Okay, so now we should work a bit better. Because at least now game ID, we need a game ID. Yeah, we need a game ID. Okay, this goes here, this goes there. Okay. Okay, I think now it will work a bit better. So we built all the pieces and now we are putting the pieces together, right? That is where it's a bit complex, but it's also more rewarding because we finally see something, right? We finally see some results, my friends. It's already 7:30. Oh my god. I don't think we can finish it today, but I wanted to see at least one phase running, but I hope we can in half an hour. I hope we can in half an hour. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So if you go here now, yes, you see it's saying select one game type. I think is way more understandable. And if I just click on choose, considering that now this is selected, basically nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. But if I select this one, oh fuck, it's not centered. Okay, or this one, right? Yeah, the text should be centered. Or they should be, or, yeah. So this is explaining player roll first 3 dice, blah blah blah. So this is the explanation of the game, right? And now if I choose it, we see what happens. Oh, nice. Is saying that the initial bet phase is initiated and the game type is being changed to poker dice game, whatever is the name, right? So now, in theory, I am in the first phase. You see, that is the phase, initial bet phase. And if I bet, for example, 5, it should tell me that I need another player. Ah, you see, it's telling me the minimum bet is 10. For whatever reason, he put a number there, which is very strange. Let me try to bet again. Ah, I cannot bet again because the minimum number, it didn't reset my bet number. Wait a second. Yeah, but it's starting to work, eh? The minimum... come on. The minimum bet is 10... yeah, in theory... now is the player position that is not working. The player position is not working. The player position is not working. That's annoying. Yeah, because I did another change. I basically changed the player 1-2 to player position. And I'm surprised that it doesn't work, but it seems it doesn't work. So player position. If it's equal to 0, no. It should be equal to player position. We save it, no? We save player position. We don't? What do you mean? No. Wait. When we receive the initial, right? We save the player position. Come on. Why don't put the names to be the same names? Receive. Is setup, is not initial? Probably setup. Yeah, setup dice minigame. Exact. Yeah, play. We don't store it. Okay. We don't store it. Well, we can take it from this message, or we can just store. Yeah, we should store it, though, right? Player position. Okay, let's store player position. And we will put it... oh wow. That's a lot of nodes. Okay, so this is our player position. And so whenever we are comparing with player position, right, we should use this variable now. Exactly. We should use it pretty much everywhere, right? When it's only there. Show bet amount, player position. Okay. It's only here strange, but yeah, maybe it is. The other thing is when we reset, right? Receive MG dice player bet. Reset the button. Yeah, which is here. We have to understand what happens if the second player disconnects and reconnects again. So that may be broken. That may be broken. But... Okay. Okay. Let's try again. Let's try again with this fix. So we are getting closer. We are getting closer, guys. All the pieces are going to place. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. By the way, guys, if you want to support our project, there is a very good way to do it, which is Patreon. We have a Patreon website. And you can become a Patreon, and also you get access to additional videos, additional screenshot and images and other stuff. So if you want to support us, that is a good way. Okay. Now, if I just roll stuff now that I'm outside the game, we may even give an error, right? We may not allow you to actually roll dice if you are not in if you didn't select the game type, right? That could be a way, but any dice, poker dice. Okay, we select poker dice. Initial bet phase. Game type change to poker dice. Nice. Okay, I'm trying to bet 5 and it should tell me no way. Exactly. The minimum bet is 10. I don't know why this goes to -1 though. Why this one goes to -1? Because now if I bet 10, that goes to 9. Oh no. Fuck. No. And the minimum bet is 10. So if I bet 5... Okay. If I bet 10 again, then what happens? I bet 19. I bet -9. I cannot bet -9. The minimum bet is... Yeah, this... I don't know why it went to -1 though. You went to -1 because the bet starts from -1. The bet starts from -1. I don't know if that's a great idea actually. The bet starts from -1. I think the bet should start from 0, because if we start from -1, we are going to mess up a lot of stuff, right? And I don't think we ever check for this -1, no? No, we never check for -1. Okay, so let's start with 0. Let's start with 0. I think is a better idea, because otherwise everything becomes like weird. I have to do all the checks and it's not worth it, right? Let me just center the text if I can. Text is centered, okay. Nice. It's so nice to see the pieces coming together after like 2 days of, you know, pumping in different code and stuff. So let's see. But I'm very happy that the phase works, right? So meaning that the server recognized the game. He recognized all the phases that he has read from the XML. and he understands which is the first phase, and is actually pushing the first phase to the client. So all of this works. Right? Now, I don't know what happens if a second player connects, but we will see. We will see soon. Why there is an error on... I don't know. That's something not related to us, actually. Not really related to us. Okay, so I go here, I select the game. Poker dice. Oh, fuck. Now it's... Now the choose button is there. What the hell? Why? Just because I selected middle in the text? Huh? What? Bro. Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? Please. Why is doing this? Only because I swapped the text to be instead of left? No, I did something else for sure. Because this is not normal. Game panel, game selector. Let me see. There is row 0. Yes, row 0, row 1. Because it is row 1. I don't know. I think I misclicked. I misclicked and I moved something. I did a misclick somewhere. Okay, let me see if we can still click on choose. No, we cannot. Okay, then we select the any dice. If we select the any dice, right, which is a simplified version, I still have my bet phase. And the minimum bet, I don't even know how much it is. The minimum bet is 10. Fuck, it's still going to -1 because I didn't recompile. I didn't recompile? I think I didn't recompile. Okay, now at least this is fixed. Yeah, let me recompile with the bet, not -1. Bum. Will you play this in game or not? Will you play dice with other players betting money? I mean money meaning in-game coins. And if yes, how much would you bet? How much do you think is expandable? 1,000? Okay. Ted Reedy. This guy composed a lot of very good music. I think a lot of the Diablo music, right, is from him. Yeah. Ted Reedy. Ted Reedy. This guy. This guy is the guy that made the music we are listening to. She's a Diablo music. He composed so much stuff, actually. Diablo 4 and Dragon Age. Ah, so he didn't do the previous the previous Diablo, huh? Okay. I thought, but I'm wrong. Michael who? Michael McGlynn. Diablo 2 doesn't say. Okay. Apart from that, he restarted. Okay. So I choose the game. These are the rules. I choose it. I go in initial bet phase. I bid 5 because I'm annoying. And it will tell me that the minimum bet is 10 and now it's not bugging anymore, right? So now it's correct. So I bet 10. Okay, now I have my minimum bet as 10. Now, I don't know what happens now though, because the game is basically waiting the second player to bet, right? I mean, I can... Oh. Yeah, I can do that, but in theory I should not be allowed to do that, right? That should be prevented. If it's not a rolling phase, that should be prevented. And let me just check if I can bet again. Yes, I can bet again. Okay, let's see that another player joins now, right? Which is obviously, I mean, I'm doing the worst case, right? That the two players are not coordinated at all, right? So one just starts to roll things and the other joins later, which obviously, but I want to manage that case because I think it may happen. So I think what we should do is, if you are in the betting phase, it will not allow you to roll any dice, right? So it will just say that the betting phase is still running. So we need to add that check. So we connect with another client. And we connect to the same game. Now you see that we got a new cup on the right side and we got the name of the guy, right, that is playing. And unfortunately, it doesn't see anything. It doesn't see the current bet and it doesn't see the current dice. Yeah. Now, if I bet again, it will then see it because this will be, this will be updated based on the last bet. But if he joins later, right, he will not see the previous bet, which is definitely a problem. So I think I have to fix that. Now, if he's betting 30, in theory we should move to the next phase. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. Everything disappeared, but okay. What the hell happened? That is very strange. So the second player actually bet something, and this basically destroyed the UI. I don't know how, but it destroyed the UI. I cannot click on anything. actually destroyed the UI for both players, right? So it seems that we sent out a message like that the game was finished, or I don't know exactly what happened, but that's very strange. Here on the server we don't see any particular log except the fact that this player requested a bet, right? MG request player bet. I think we will have to debug the server because that was weird. That was very weird. I mean, if this happened, right, would have not done that for sure. Done that for sure. So definitely we enter into this, right, and we verify as the amount proposed plus the previous bets, max count. Yeah, I think I had enough money. If it's a phase game, then check if it's a betting phase. The minimum bet. So this part works, right? This part works. This part works for sure. But this is why I don't know what happened here. Check the phase completion. I think this happened. I'm pretty sure that this happened because I put exactly 30, right? I put exactly 30. And I think that we moved to the next phase. But this move to the next phase fucked up, right? Fucked up. I don't know why, but it fucked up. And we checked if the next phase was actually the resolve winner, which in theory is not, because our next phase is the roll phase, right? Is not yet the resolve winner. But maybe for some bad increment, he thought he was the resolve winner. Because get next phase is already incrementing by 1 our current phase pointer, you see, so basically they just received a new phase. I don't think that anything. Okay, let's try again, but we are going through this code and I think we arrived probably here. I think I will debug it. I don't know what happened here to the client, why we lost completely the UI. That's very strange. It's like if the game ended or we exited from the game or we forced an exit, right? Something like that. I think that we force an exit when there are no more players connected. That is the only case where, so one player disconnects and we force the game ending. I think also the fact that they had a dice already rolled, I think that was a bit weird, right? So maybe that messed up. We have to manage all those cases, right? If it's a betting phase, you cannot roll any die. I think it's still loading. Yeah, still. It's still loading the game rules. Oh my god, it's 8 o'clock, bro. It's 8 o'clock. I have to go. So annoying. So annoying. I don't want to go. I mean, in theory I could stay, but I can come back after dinner, but after dinner I wanted to do other stuff, so I think it's okay. I will continue and fix it, and you will see the result of this, okay? I think it's fine. Let me just try to connect with the other player immediately. I mean, before doing any stupid stuff, right? So that we just enter into the game at the proper time, right? So that's probably a good idea. Okay, so now I bet. Let's do the happy path. So I bet 10, right? And the other guy sees that I bet 10, so he's also betting 10. And now we want to understand what happens. The current phase is -1. What the fuck? What do you mean the current phase is -1? Ah, we didn't select the game. No. No, we didn't select the game. By the way, if I select the game and I go here is not selected. I will have to select it there, but anyway, fine. So now we are fucked, right? Because... yeah, but at least current phase is 0. So let me see. Yeah, you see, it's doing this now. Now, why here is... yeah, exactly. That's actually correct. But for some reason, the next phase fucks up everything. But server side is correct, right? So we are sending the new phase properly. Okay, guys, I have to go, but I will check. So it seems that the second phase, which is actually the roll phase, has some problem and is basically disabling the UI somehow. I don't know exactly why, but fine. Okay, I will see you tomorrow evening, 9:30 p.m. European time. If you want to click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that's nice. And also remember that our game is released, so if you want to play it, you can just go on our website, click on download now, and you can download it for Windows, for Linux, and for Mac. And I will see you tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. European time. Bye! Have a good dinner, good evening, bye bye.